What's up, friends? How we doing tonight? It's Sunday night. Wanted to see how everybody's doing, what everybody's up to. So, got a couple of things I wanted to talk about tonight. Um, nothing too nothing too fancy. Just a little late night, but not too late. Shooting the shit kind of stuff. Um, I'm gonna probably have a pretty busy week. So until I get some until I get anything pressing that I feel I really need to go over and talk about. Well, what I'm going to talk about tonight is definitely pretty important. But I definitely need to focus on a few other things this week coming up. But hey, Kathleen. But tonight I wanted to talk about empathy. Oh, it's Jenna, you subbed to me and can't remember how. Okay. Well, I'm glad you did. Hopefully you stick around. Hopefully I don't bore you to death. What's up, Eric G? Oh wow, Kay's on right now. I had no idea that Kay was on. I swear, I honestly had no idea. But we're here, so I'm gonna keep going. Yes, Kathy, empathy and kindness. Two huge human acts that are so underused nowadays. And this is going to come from a pretty alternative perspective uh, tonight. So I hope you'll bear with me. And what's up, Amy? Hey, Robbie. Yeah, my night's good, man. How's yours? I hope yours is going well too. Um, but anyway, I I got to thinking. So I'm gonna get right into it. Oh, Kathleen, I can't pay to listen to someone. I don't think you should necessarily. I mean, I don't fault any YouTube creators for having super chat or having a patron page at all. I used to kind of be like, oh well, that's well, that kind of defeats the purpose of YouTube or whatever. But the thing is, and it's not even a case of hey, if people are willing to pay, then you know what I mean. It's not even a case of that. It's just I mean, it is, but it was funny because I was listening to I was listening to my listeners in the chat one night. And a couple people were like, "I would love to throw you money for what you're doing," and I just don't feel like I'm ready for that just yet. But when you actually see that kind of support coming from your listeners, um, and they want to support you, and you realize that you can do good things towards what they want from you with those funds, then yeah, I think that that's great. And it's so I'm not in a place where I really want to start like taking money from people. Because I don't know if I could dedicate the time that it would take to like use good equipment, and everything like that. Right now, what I'm using is just some what happens to be like a gamer headset with an attached mic to it. The mic that I first got through actually another creator, and I'm still very grateful for that. It doesn't work anymore. Um, and see, that's cool. See, thanks, Robbie. But I'm not. Yeah, if it gets to that point, then sure, sure, why not? um, if who am I to say what's worth it for my listeners, or what's worth it for one creator's listeners to do, and what isn't worth it for them. You know what I mean? It's not. Yeah, that's not for me to say. So, you know, I think it's great. But yeah, so for now, I'm free. and I reckon I will be for a while. So I'm glad that you're here and you're down to listen to me for free. Um, but I uh, I'll get right into the reason behind the title. As you guys know, GLARE is an acronym for some principles that I set for myself, to where I try to execute every day. It's not something I push on people. It's not even anything that I share with anyone in my everyday life. Like at my job, or I don't talk about this. I talk about this stuff on this channel and exclusively on this channel, and it's something that I do privately, and it's something that I do aside from exclusively on this channel. And I don't really know anybody personally who I consider to be my listeners. There's my friend Jeremy, who I grew up with, and he knows of the channel, and he'll log on once in a while and say what's up. Um, and but that's really it. So uh, it's not it's not something I throw around. Um, and this channel is basically specifically as a way for me to kind of record uh, how I apply it, and how it's affected my immediate environment, and also to share it and get human reactions from it, and hopefully it inspires too. And I think it has to some people. So I think I'm super grateful for that. So it's really cool. One of the things, the first one being gratitude, is uh, I'm grateful to have the things that come with being grateful. It becomes a never-ending gift, and there's all these learning experiences that come with it, and then I just get myself in the practice of just being grateful for everything that I've been experiencing, and it's really really cool. Um, and it's really, and it applying this, and for those of you who don't know, it's gratitude, logic, awareness, acceptance, accountability, rationality, empathy, and resilience. Um, Resilience being the one where, like, if I start to really falter from what I'm from this, I have to stay resilient. Like, even if it seems not in my best interest to apply these things. And so far, I've never come across a scenario where that was the case. So that's a really interesting thing about it too. Hey Beth, hey Casey. That's a really interesting thing about it too, is that um, it has really genuinely been nothing but positive. In theory, when I thought of it, I didn't see it being an issue negatively. Um, and so far it's been really positive. I've met some really really cool people on here, um, just through this channel, and I and I'm really happy about that. That's pretty amazing. But I've also I've been entertained, right? Now, there's one thing here that I've noticed the last couple of days, and this is just me, possibly even overthinking the whole thing, but this is for is I get to share my overthoughts with you guys. Um, but I had to ask myself, Will, you've been kind of you've been taking some pretty strong jabs at Mary Marlowe, the last couple of lives that you've done. And I told myself, like, yeah, I kind of have. Um, hey, click click boom. Um, what's up, Beth? I've noticed that I've been doing that, and and I wasn't, and I didn't feel bad about it at the time. And honestly, I felt bad long enough to ask myself if I should feel bad for it, and I don't. I don't. Because I was asking myself if I was being a hypocrite. Am I not showing this woman empathy? Am I not being empathetic towards what her situation is? Now, that's valid in the sense that I don't know her. It's valid in the sense that I don't know her personally, and I don't know anything that she's going through in her real life, um, other than the fact that she apparently started dating. So she was on. She had a live today, and she was really excited to share that news. And I'm actually not making fun of her for that. I promise you, I'm not. Um, but the reason I've explained it pretty thoroughly the last couple of lives as to why I feel justified in picking out her channel, and I've shared that it's partly because she is grossly throwing around misinformation and completely irresponsibly. She's absolutely doing that. But I'm also doing it in the sense that it's my channel. I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to shut her down or anything like that. It's just that I'm seeing something here, and this kind of behavior turned me off to the true crime community altogether. If you notice, I haven't really been following a lot of cases lately. People will bring certain cases to my attention, and then I'll get into it and I'll start thinking about it, and I'll start reading up on them. But I have not taken a personal interest in any particular true crime cases, as of recent. And the reason why I feel that way is because the true crime community has become a lot like politics to me. It's become a joke. It's become a farce. Um, it's it's become a circus where there's there's no there's no respect anymore for the reality that these cases involved real people. They involved real people, and not just the immediate victims and not just the perpetrators, but the people around them, their families, their loved ones, their co-workers. This is absolutely a problem, and I'm listening to this woman. Now, here's the thing. I make fun of it because it's only funny because she's not to be taken seriously. She's not to be taken seriously by anybody with any common sense. All of her theories, anybody who's followed this case, the Watts case, closely, and has any common sense, knows that the things that she's saying are completely and totally outlandish and off the wall, and the projections of delusion. So, and yeah, now here I don't know. Here, okay, so what she's been doing, in my opinion, is she has a very, very strong following. Hey, Lily, she has a very strong following, and the thing is that's potentially dangerous. That's potentially dangerous, and the reason why that's potentially dangerous is because she's talking and she's implicating people who were also bystanders in this case. And these are not characters on a soap opera. These are not characters in a movie or in a novel. These are people who had nothing to do with a horrible crime that took place, and she's talking about co-workers of this man who are only guilty for having the same job as him. And now they have to deal with people like this talking about them all over the internet who have thousands of subscribers listening to it. And anybody, who is listening to those ramblings of hers, are, 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 are not people with common sense, anybody who's taking these things seriously. Because if you followed this case closely, you'll know that there's no substance to anything that she's saying. And it's funny because they're so outlandish when you listen to them, and I laugh when I listen to them because that's the reason I'm subscribed to her. And hopefully a lot more people like me are too, and that's the case. If that's the case, then right on, man. Make a bunch of dumb shit up. That's what we're here for. I'm not here to save the world. I would love to use this platform to help people. I would love to use this platform to inspire, and I would love to use this platform to be able to spread the word on something like Mandy's case that I spoke about last week. So you know, she's completely out of her mind. And the thing is she's, and I think and this is the thing, is this is where the empathy comes in, because people are like, man, you don't know what a drug addict is going through and what led them to that road. You don't know their journey, blah, blah, blah. The fact of the fucking matter is, I do know that journey. And I know that journey very, very well, which is why I could spot an addict when I see one, an active addict. This is not someone in recovery. This is clearly not somebody in recovery, because somebody in recovery is, like I said in another live recently, I said, someone in recovery is what young people refer to as woke 99% of the time. They've got their shit together. They're trying to help other people. At the very least, they're trying to move on with their life quietly. But they're genuinely trying to help other people. This is someone who is taking she's taking a case that affected some really, really innocent people. A bunch of we're all responsible for sensationalizing this case. All of us, everybody in this chat right now, everybody in Jay's chats and in Mary Marlowe's chats and Kay's chats. Everybody is responsible. Everybody is accountable for sensationalizing this case because of how much we've talked about it. And that's a fact. That is an absolute and utter fact. But the thing is, though, is it becomes a dangerous thing, because we have the right to talk about whatever we want to talk about. This is something that happened in our community, whether it happened, thousands of miles away, or it happened right next door. It's still our American community. So we have the right to discuss it and try to understand it, of course. But we have a responsibility that comes with that. And that responsibility is to look at it objectively, but look at and focus on the facts. Let the facts lead us to our conclusions. We don't make up facts as we go along just to support our own crazy theories. That's not how this is done. That's irresponsible, and it's unethical, and it's immoral. And that's exactly what Mary Marlowe is doing. And the only reason it's funny is because she's clearly on substances. And I've been there, man. That's how I can tell that these are delusions that are drug induced. I've been there. I know exactly what that's like. I'm not proud of it, but I'm not ashamed of it either. Because it puts me in a position to where I could sit here with logical people like I am right now and talk about it. And talk about it out of experience. Now, I don't... I want the best things for her. Honestly, like today she got on live, and then she announced to everybody that she had a date tonight. Here's and I swear to you, this is the God's to honest truth, man. I swear to you that I hope it's fucking 11 o'clock It's, I think, 10 or 9 o'clock Central Time right now. I hope that she is in the throes of a fantastic date right now, having the time of her life, not being able to not lock eyes with the guy that she's with, and I hope that the guy that she's with is fucking rad. I hope that the guy she's with is just mind-blowingly cool, handsome, everything. I hope that he's everything that she could possibly hope that he could be. And I'm hoping, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I'm hoping that this man and her have mind-blowing sex, and to the kind that just fucking strips them both emotionally naked. And this guy can get to a level with her where he listens to the shit that she's doing online, and instead of enabling her, tells her, hey, this is probably, you should probably back off. And him and her have such a connection that she'll listen to him. And then she'll be like, holy shit, I got a problem. I got a problem, and I got to cut this shit out. That's what I'm hoping from the bottom of my heart will happen. And, you know, the chances of that happening, they're not too bad. They're not too bad. But, you know, the likelihood of her taking any accountability, like seeing what she's doing is wrong and then taking the steps to change it, she won't get past that first step. It's just not going to happen. She's too obsessed with the shit that she's talking about. And I'm sorry for all you ladies. If I embarrassed you by what I just said, I apologize. But let's get real. You know, that's the hopes, right? Let's be honest. I happen to know that most of you women, you guys don't have sex on the first night, because you're trying to respect yourselves. For the ones that do, I think the majority of the women who do have sex with their date on their first night is because they honestly believe that there's that connection there, and you really hope for something more and to build off of it. Just shit happens sometimes and it doesn't work out, and a lot of times it's because the guy's an asshole. But it's not because you're sluts or anything like that. So you know, if she gets laid tonight, and it turns out to be awesome, man, good for her. Good for her. That's the way it should be. What's wrong with acting on love at first sight? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with taking it all the way? Just walking off the cliff together, pissing in the wind, seeing what happens, right? I'm really hoping that that happens tonight. I hope that she's having a fantastic date, and I hope that she falls madly in love with a fantastic dude. I really, honestly do. So, having said that, yes, I feel empathy for Mary Marlowe. I feel empathy for her because I have been where she's at. I have been where she's at. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be a stubborn addict. I know exactly what that's like. But here's the thing is, nobody was ever going to tell me jack shit. I had to start seeing what was happening in my life for me to make those changes. I had to go, wait a minute, this is fucked up, this is fucked up, and this is fucked up, and look at how I'm making these other people feel. Fuck, this is not good. And I had to start taking steps to change. I just had to. It was affecting people that I loved. And what she doesn't realize, if she loves her listeners, if she truly loves her listeners, she's affecting them. She's affecting them in a negative way because they're taking her seriously. And what she's doing is she's doing what she's doing in the name of feeling loved and feeling cared for and feeling important and feeling like a mother to her listeners. But what she's shoving shit in their ears is what she's doing, and it's really bad, and it's not okay. And that's even fine. But the problem is is there are people involved. She's talking about real people. She's talking about real people who were affected by a crime and they had no intentions. They were bystanders in the whole thing. So, yeah. I mean, I I I I absolutely most definitely feel empathy for her in that sense. I feel empathy for her in the sense that I do wish her happiness. Um, but some of you are saying, "Oh well, why be so mean and blah blah blah." There's it's funny. I get on certain I since my listeners have become important to me, I've made the effort to get to know my listeners a little bit better and start exploring the other stuff on YouTube that my listeners explore and are involved in and what they're doing. So I check out other channels and and I'm seeing these things, man. I'm seeing people having a certain amount of power and using it very irresponsibly. And so these things, me questioning these things is valid because I want to understand. Because my dream is honestly to bring together YouTube creators. That's I would love to do that. With this, I would love to do that. I talked about that before. There's a true crime community, and I got a taste of what it was like to actually help a real victim's loved ones. I got a taste of what that felt like, and that was the most awesome fucking feeling in the world. And yet, I'm 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 looking at other people who call themselves true crime creators, and either you know they're I don't know. It, it's rarely ever about the true crime. It's rarely ever about the true crime. And I was man, I was I was like stomping my feet pretty much last night when I was listening to Jay's live, but I was stomping my feet out of joy. Not like having a temper tantrum. I was having a fucking blast because this dad with the phone guy. I never heard of him in my life. I've never been much of a YouTuber, and I never heard of him in my life. And this dad with the phone guy, he's just killing it, And I'm digging his energy. I'm digging his energy. Like this is a guy that wants to be the real alternative press. He wants to be there and really report what he's seeing. And he's got a vibe about him, and he's got a charisma about him that makes you just it's like a friend telling you what's going on in your community. That was what I was getting out of that. It was just this really fun, nice guy who just was loving talking to Jay about it and talking to everybody in his and he's burning sage. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, this dude is just fucking. I'll fuck with this dude, man. I'll totally fuck with this dude. He's great. Um. So yeah, that was a fucking fun night, man. Um. So and then I'll see that kind of shit. And not only is it fun, not only am I laughing, but I'm also getting all the information that I could possibly want about this case. I mean, it was super informative. It was totally informative, and I couldn't get enough of it. And I feel like I've been waiting for that shit forever. And then in Jay's defense, that's not to say something against Jay because remember, I recently subscribed to her. Um, it wasn't very long ago, maybe just a couple of weeks that I subscribed to Jay. Um, so I'm really, so I'm really loving what I'm hearing. Um, really, like the more and more I hear, I'm really loving it, and I love and I loved this guy and her dynamic, man. It was fantastic. So, uh, so yeah, man. And somebody made a comment because I was on somebody else's, I was on somebody else's live tonight, and I was making comments because I knew what was happening. I was getting the gist of what she was talking about because I didn't know, and it was more drama. It was just more drama, and and I was like, and supposedly this person it has credentials. I'm not going to go into details, but she has credentials. That that qualify her to to analyze and diagnose. And 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 here I am listening to her basically just react to something that, from what I could tell, she didn't even have any proof of. And it was just something that happened, and I'm just like, I don't understand. And there was a whole lot of stuff going. I was talking about stuff inside the wall, and they were just focused on her, and our mods were just focused on a bunch of shit outside the wall. And I was like, you're missing the point. You're missing the point of what I'm saying. And I was calling her out on some real shit. And she actually was kind enough to entertain it to a certain degree. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, her mods were foaming at the mouth. They were just foaming at the mouth to fucking get me to silence me because they knew where I was coming from. One dude was like, it was funny as shit. He was like, Glare, I can't tell if you're a troll or not. I, I fucking laughed. I fucking laughed because, you know, that spoke volumes right there. It spoke volumes. I was asking questions that clearly people were thinking themselves, just were afraid to ask in the chat uh, out of fear of being either muted or blocked. Or I mean, dude, I get blocked all the fucking time. People block me all the fucking time, dude. I don't give a shit. You know, it's. I'm pretty sure I got blocked, Beth. Yeah. Um, I know I got timed out. I got timed out like 3 times. I mean, and that's the thing is, I don't know. I don't know or give a shit about any of the actual like drama between certain creators and everything. I don't know the details of any of that. Um, but you know, and I'm not gonna discuss this stuff. Like I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna discuss this stuff with other creators. I'll collaborate with other creators, but I'm not gonna talk about this stuff with other creators. I'm simply explaining to my listeners right now what I'm getting out of being in this community right now, and and I dig it. I dig it a lot because for the most part, it's full of a lot of great people that are trying to make really good content and are doing it for great, wonderful reasons that I can relate to anyway. And and I love that. But yeah, some of you guys in the chat now were in that chat, as I can see. But I swear, I, you know, maybe I was trolling her, but I wasn't, it depends on what you consider trolling. But my thing was, I don't have anything against this lady. I was really genuinely trying to understand her. I just, If you want to call trolling not giving a fuck about what she was talking about and trying to understand why someone with her credentials was talking the way that she was and dealing with the situation the way that she was, yeah, I'm going to ask those kind of questions. Because, again, that's fucking unethical. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's fucking unethical. You know? I mean, like, it's like this, man. It's like, it's like if you're in a kitchen, right? If you're in a kitchen, or you happen to walk back into a kitchen of a restaurant, and you see some dude fucking, you know, wearing gloves, and then, he wipes his nose or blows his nose, and then keeps on cooking food there with the same gloves on without changing his gloves or sanitizing his hands or nothing. You're not going to eat the food there, right? Well, that's what I was seeing. I was seeing a cook just fucking, you know, scratching her ass. I was seeing a cook scratching her ass, and I was calling her out on it. That's all I was doing. You know? So here you are, you're scratching your ass and you're handling food. You're sitting there, and you're that shit's not fucking cool, man. Like, I'm up here, and people tell me all the time, hey Will, you give great advice. Hey Will, you got a lot of good insight, blah blah blah. But at no point am I sitting here saying that I'm an expert in anything. As a matter of fact, I'm the furthest fucking thing from it. You know? This channel is designed for sheer entertainment, man. This is all this is. It is for your entertainment. It entertains me and it entertains you. And that's why I do it. That's why I do it. And I like doing it. It's fun. You guys are fucking dope. You know? And I got wonderful mods, man. I got wonderful fucking mods. And that's cool, dude. I I'm sure me doing what I think is the correct thing by asking you know fair questions, fair logical questions, and you consider me a troll for that, then hey, fine, fine, I'm a fucking troll, whatever. But if you if you decide to play the troll game with me, well, yeah, I'm sure. You got plenty of mods and plenty of subs, and that's okay. But you know what? I've got an Irish. So, uh, kind of like Tony Stark said, we have a Hulk. Yeah, I've got an Irish. So, um, and I'm not too shabby myself when it comes down to to getting down and dirty. And I don't want to do that. That's not what I'm trying to do. That's not what I'm trying to do. Because that was what was funny. Was those mods? They were just like, oh my god, he's this and he's that, and he was with Kay at one point. Blah, 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 yeah, yeah. And I'm sitting here laughing at the whole thing. It's just I'm sitting here laughing at the whole fucking thing. Yay, don't jinx me, Eric. I'm just kidding. I'm the Anthony Bourdain of the crime community. Man, that is the dopest thing anybody's ever fucking said about me. That's fucking awesome. I don't know if that's accurate, but that was fucking cool. I appreciate that, brother. Okay, so I'm reading the chat a little bit here. Amy, you're absolutely right. Let me read your. I love reading Amy's comments out loud. I gotta say. Amy says, I try to refrain from saying this, but the key to critical thinking is being receptive to questioning. But some places channels that to some places channels, and that is treason. That's exactly what happened with this person's mods. But I will give the creator credit in the sense that she was absolutely and totally, she understood that because I challenged them with that. And then she was reading the chat and she acknowledged me verbally, and that was very, very classy of her to do so. I'm going to give her that much. Absolutely. Totally, she totally acknowledged me, and and she tried to explain herself. But she was talking about one thing when she was avoiding my question. I don't even think she was purposely avoiding my question. I just don't even think she understood where I was coming from with that question because she wasn't used to people asking her this stuff. And her mods saw that as me attacking her, and I was not attacking her. Um, Maybe it felt like an attack because I was facing her with something that she probably didn't want to face, but hey, and a well-deserved bow you should take, Eric G. Yeah, that's the thing is I don't want to look at this channel. The only time really okay, uh, let me try to get through this thought. Let me try to get through this thought. So okay, so this is my channel, right? I do and say whatever the fuck I want on this channel and with this channel. I anything, anything. It's mine to do what I please with it. Of course, sure. Um, but the only reason I have this channel, and the only reason that I see it's worth it to continue posting content on this channel, is because of my chat. The chat is that's everything. My chat is everything. My listeners are everything. So um, everything that's said to me in my chat is taken seriously. Um, and if I were to receive some constructive criticism, I would welcome it. And I have past lives where that has actually taken place. I've had past lives with another creator where the creator was like, I know this person, I know who they are, I know what they're doing, fuck them, kick them out of here. And I was like, no, let them talk. And I didn't doubt that the other creator was correct on that. I didn't doubt that at all, and that was perfectly fine. That was perfectly fine. But again, I wanted to see where they were coming from. I wanted to walk a minute in their shoes because that's what I'm here to do. You know, the reason why I'm sharing my thoughts here with you is to get feedback, and I get feedback. You guys give me feedback all the time. You know, and I think that there's people who will disagree with me in the chat from time to time, and then we'll respectfully discuss things. You know, I I want this to be an exchange, a wonderful exchange of back and forth between myself and you guys in the chat. I want this to be a healthy. I want to be able to learn from you, and I want you to be able to learn from me. And I want to be able to do that on a constant basis. And it's an interesting dynamic because I got to sit here and talk verbally and have a conversation with, 20 people at a time. And it's fucking cool, you know? It's fun. I enjoy it. So, yeah, if yeah, by all means put me in a corner and ask me a question and I'll tell you. But I think the only reason that somebody would avoid a question on here is because they lack self-awareness. Hey, thanks for coming in, niece. Have a good night. Yeah, thanks, Amy. Yeah, that's yeah. At least that's what I thought. Wow. Well, that's the thing is I'm a firm believer that the only person that could put me in a corner is me. And if I'm put in a corner, hey, I'll fucking deal with it, man. If I end up with a little egg on my face, then I'll take it. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, so I just think, yeah, I feel like I have the personal opinion that if you do have a channel, you're free to do whatever the fuck you want on your channel, man. But if you claim to be a certain type of channel, you have a certain responsibility. You have a certain responsibility to your listeners, especially if they are donating real money. You have a responsibility to those listeners. Oh, I got the reference, Amy. I'm old. I'm old. I haven't lived in a cave. Yeah, I've seen Dirty Dancing more than once, more than twice, more than three times. I'm not ashamed to say it's a classic, and I had the time of my life when I did it. I never felt like that before. I swear it's true. All right, good night, Mignon. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, so yeah, Beth. I mean, is that wrong? Am I being like am I being a YouTube Nazi if I by saying that uh, certain creators have a responsibility to their subscribers? I don't. I mean, here's the thing. As an artist, you don't have a responsibility to anybody. That's the cool thing about being an artist. Like, I talk about this a lot. Like, one of my favorite bands is Fugazi, right? Um, and they're fantastic. And one of the things that I love about them is they haven't put out anything new in oh man, at least 10 years. At least. I don't know when the argument came out, but it's been at least 10 years. They haven't put out any new shit, and yet they've never officially broken up. Um, you know, they just, and then when you ask Ian McKay in an interview, uh, you know, don't you feel like you owe your fans another album? He's like, fuck no, I don't feel like I owe anybody shit. Like, we do Fugazi because we like doing Fugazi, and I'm not gonna put out something fucking forced because our fans are waiting on it. That's crazy. And I totally agree. I want from my favorite artists, I want what's real, what's coming from their heart. I need that. I need that honesty. I need that realism. I need that. So I want something that's coming from their heart. I don't listen to bands that I feel like they're in the studio and they're putting out records and touring because they know it'll sell a lot because of who they are. I don't listen to bands like that because it does nothing for me. I enjoy artists who put out content because they love what they're doing and because they have something to say and because it's important for them to say it to them. It's important to them to say it. And I love that. And I don't want anything other than that from those particular creators, you know. Now, I I might listen to a Taking Back Sunday song, you know, but I'm aware of why they're doing it. I'm not going to be like, well, that band is terrible because, and they are terrible, but I'm saying they're not gonna, I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna boycott them. Like, if somebody plays that song around me and I'm not allowed to hear any other music for any other reason, and I'm gonna find the good in it and I'm gonna enjoy it, you know. So yeah, like my favorite artists are simply grateful for the people that listen to them. And that's how I feel about my listeners. I'm simply just grateful for the people who seem to log into my chat every time I go on. And and yeah, when I so to go back to my original point, yes, when I talk about Mary Marlowe, it is completely out of empathy. It's absolutely. Now, I have to entertain my listeners, and I'm going to be totally honest with my listeners at the same time. So I'm going to talk about the shit that makes me laugh because the shit is fucking ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. It makes me crack the fuck up. I sit there and I listen to this woman, and she has the most outlandish fucking theories that spawned from other outlandish theories, and it's crazy to watch. And yet it entertains me and it makes me laugh. You know, just but it's not like when I walk by the checkout aisle at the grocery store and I see on the cover of Globe, alien boy born, you know, that's not involving real people. Real people aren't affected by that. They're not putting real people's names in there. This woman is doing that, you know. These people who just happen to work at Anadarko with this guy, and they got to go to work and they got to deal with the fact that fucking children were buried on their job site. They got to walk over that shit every time they go to work. What the fuck? And you're gonna talk about these people like they're not real people, and because it gets you likes on your channel. Kind of a fucking asshole are you? You have nothing. You have no evidence that even points to this. Yeah, Amy. Children they knew. Children they knew. Do you know think it hurts these people to know that the man that they worked with every day was capable of something like this? They made jokes with this guy. They shared lunches with this guy. Come on, man. Come on with that shit. Cut it out. Yeah, yeah, and there was a stovetop session. I took screenshots of her fucking stovetop session and fucking sent it to my fucking mods. And everybody was just like, "Oh god." Cuz the shit is fucking funny. Like, why would you do that? Only somebody fucking hung the fuck over on God knows what would decide to do that. Yeah, I speak typo, Amy. I knew you meant Sylvia Plath. I mean, I there's I can't. I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, and she talks about money being the motive. There was no money, man. There was no money. There was nothing. You know. And she makes it seem like he was a patsy. Like he was a patsy who was taken advantage of, and now he's in prison because and taking the rap for everybody because he's too weak and he's been manipulated and brainwashed. And she even talked about fucking witchcraft. And then started talking about her own experiences with people fucking doing witchcraft, where she does witchcraft on other people. Yeah, yeah. If your volume's all the way up, Beth Wade, and you're about to click on that video, dude, like hit it down real quick. Don't let it catch you. Don't let it catch you, because it'll fucking you'll jump. You'll jump. Dude, that's the thing, Beth. She's come up with all these crazy fucking scenarios. She's come up with all these crazy scenarios, and she's like accusing the police of being a part of it, or not caring. And it's like, like I get that there's people involved that had a political agenda because it was such a high profile case. But here's the thing. This is the one thing that about that case. Here I go fucking talking about the goddamn Watts case again. So here's the thing about law enforcement, man, in that case, that tells me that they were genuinely trying to come to a solid conclusion. Nobody fucking leaked this shit. Everybody saw that there was this was a small community, and these were two small, beautiful kids, and there was enough footage. There was enough footage that Shanann put on the internet and made available to everybody to see these little girls and to take it personally. If you're in a position in law enforcement, and you watch those videos that Shanann posted, there's no fucking way that you're not going to take that seriously. There's no fucking way that you're not going to look at those little girls and be like, I'm going to get you justice. There's no fucking way that somebody who dedicated their life to law enforcement sees that shit and doesn't fucking get to just, they don't get turned, like, switched on. There's no fucking way. Irish. So don't fucking tell me that they didn't do their jobs, because when they saw those videos, what they did was they cut off everything from the press. There was no fucking leaks to the press about anything. Law enforcement did an incredible job with that case. That's why I say that everything in that discovery is what it is. It just is what it is. Everything in that fucking discovery is what it is. There's no conspiracy. There's no fucking hidden nothing. And then she's going on fucking talking about this fucking book like it's the goddamn Bible. Oh, and then there's a missing chapter from the book. And then she's talking about Kay, and she's talking about the author, and she's talking about... Dude... And then she's talking about... and she's so out of the loop. The funniest fucking thing. She talks about there's a PDF file that leaked, and I think that Kay and the author of the book, Cheryl Ann, they're going to see a hit from that. Like, first of all, what fucking leaked the PDF file was the fucking book itself, you idiot. You fucking crazy fucking crackhead. Like, the book itself is what leaked. I'm not even going to say who leaked because that makes what you're saying even fucking funnier. But I'm not getting into that. But the PDF file that you're talking about was the book. It wasn't a piece of the book. It was the book itself. The whole book, first of all, is a fucking shit show. The whole book is complete and total bullshit. It's been fucking debunked. The book itself is not anything credible any more than an HLN report and any more than a Dr. Phil episode, which is totally what you keep referencing back to as Dr. Phil. And why doesn't anybody have enough fucking common sense to know that when somebody references fucking Dr. Phil as if he's some sort of credible news source, then this person is a fucking idiot. This person is just spewing bullshit. That's all. That's all they're doing. They're just spewing fucking bullshit. It is 90% opinion hybrid. I haven't even read the motherfucker. I won't read the motherfucker. Because I sat there and I listened to this lady fucking talk about it. This lady couldn't even plug her own book right. So... And it would be so fucking funny. It would be so funny if this fucking crackhead wasn't sitting there talking about people who were horribly affected by this, who didn't do nothing but go to work. They didn't do nothing but go to work. That's all they did. They got up in the morning and they fucking went to go fucking eat a fucking labor dick so that they could put food on their table. That's what they did. So they take their fucking wife on vacation. That's what they did. And then now they gotta deal with fucking stupid questions for the rest of their lives. Did you work with Chris Watts? Did you know him? Did you have lunch with him? They gotta deal with that shit all the time now. Did you know he was gonna do it? Fuck. I don't know, man. I don't think Dr. Phil is a real doctor either, Kathleen. Oh, God. Look, man. Look, in my opinion, you are, like, if you have a job, if you're not doing that job, if you're actually not practicing in that job, then you don't get to call yourself that job, dude. You don't get to say that that's what you do, because you're not doing it. You don't get to say that's what you do if you're not doing it. You don't get to say that you doctor when you don't doctor, homie. You don't do it. Dr. Phil doesn't doctor shit. Dr. Phil doctors assholes who don't want to fucking work and sit around all day fucking lying on their couch and looking at the TV at a horizontal angle. Or a vertical angle. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Fucking Oprah. Don't even get me started on fucking Oprah. Look, man. Daytime television targets a certain demographic. Okay? That's why it's the worst, shittiest, dumbest shit on television. Because it targets a particular demographic. Sponsors pay for television spots. Okay? Look at the sponsors. You have to pay attention to the commercials. You're not watching, when you watch television with commercials, you're not watching TV shows that have commercials. You're watching commercials that have TV shows in between the commercials. Because the commercials are advertisements of the products that the corporations that pay to make those products are selling. That's it. That's it. That's it. You're watching commercials. That's all you're doing. And who are these commercials? They're fucking tech school commercials. They are personal injury attorney commercials. Right? You get what I'm getting at here? Oh my God. You dropped out of high school? And you can't even get a job at McDonald's? Well, learn to weld. Listen to me, nobody that can't work at McDonald's can figure out how to fucking work a welding torch. Okay? There's people who won't work at McDonald's. There's people who won't work at McDonald's. And guess what? Those people who won't work at McDonald's, they go to school to learn how to weld, and then they don't end up welding. You know why? Because they're sleeping on somebody's couch that's not theirs. Sleeping on somebody's couch that's not theirs. And they're watching TV all day. That's all they're doing. So, all I'm saying, man, is anybody that I see on television between 9 to 6 p.m. is clearly full of shit, who is targeting a demographic that only listens to shit that is not credible. So, yeah, think about it. Personal injury attorneys. They're basically telling you, wait, so you're not hurt yet? And you got to get up off somebody's fucking couch to get a job? Well, hey, don't do that. Like, listen, go get a job and then get hurt so that you can go back to the couch and we'll get you a bunch of money. And we'll just take a big chunk of that. So it targets a demographic of people who just simply don't want to work. And people who don't want to work don't want to think. And people who don't want to think come up with crazy, wild fucking theories about dumb shit that shouldn't even be talked about anymore. Well, YouTube is headed in that direction. You're right. YouTube is headed in that direction, and it's really funny. It's really funny. But I think it's real easy. I think it's real easy for that to happen because a trend happens. Because what happens is these creators, they start going to war with each other, right? These creators start going to war with each other, and then they see that that these particular people catch on to it, and it makes for really good entertainment because they're real feuds. None of this is staged. None of this is fucking staged. This shit on YouTube it's actually fucking happening. These people fucking hate each other, right? These people all fucking hate each other. So, you know, the reason why people stop watching wrestling is because they grow up to be old enough to realize that it's fake. That happened to me when I was a kid. I used to watch wrestling and people would say it's fake, and I'd be like, no, it's not. It's not fake. There's no fucking way it's fake, you know? And then I got older, realized it was fake, and I didn't get into it anymore. But then I realized that it was fake, and then I realized that the wrestling, the World Wrestling Entertainment, right, used to be WWF, the World Wrestling Federation, but now it's World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE. They just went with that. They went with the fact that people are catching on to that, to the fact that it's fake, and they started playing off that, and they just started putting on a good show. They stopped patronizing their audience, and the audience realized it's just a good show, and they're cool with it, and then they're cool with it, and then nobody tried to hide it anymore, and then they just had fun with it, and then wrestling became entertaining again. It became entertaining to everybody. Yeah. And that's the thing is no one is ever going to take the true crime community on YouTube seriously until that starts to happen, until people start to actually focus on the facts and report the facts and even express your opinions as long as they're opinions on facts. If you start to do that, then it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. You're going to create a voice. Because guess what? Your listeners are still going to listen. They're not going to go, oh my God, there's no more drama. I'm not listening to that anymore. You know what? If that does happen, then what you did was you just weeded out an audience that you didn't want. You just cut the fat. So I don't see what the problem is. So I still stand by what I said, man. I think YouTube creators should get together. True crime communities, start making it about the case. Start making it about the victims. And we could have we could have a hell of a platform. Everybody could. And if you don't like hearing that shit from me, I get it. You know, I got that kind of way about me that people are like, you know what, man, I just because it's coming out of your fucking mouth, I don't want to do it. So that's okay. You know, keep me out of it. I don't give a fuck. Keep me out of it. But, you know, use your channels responsibly, man. Like, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right. Okay, here we go. Starset1. Welcome to the chat. I've never seen you before, but welcome. You're saying it is more than just duking it out. People who weren't into drama are being cyberbullied. Well, again, you're a new username that I've never seen before, so you've probably never listened to me before. But I actually talked about cyberbullying yesterday. And I have strong opinions about cyberbullying, but they're probably not the same opinions that you have. And the thing is, I think how you handle cyberbullying is what matters. I think how you handle cyberbullying is what matters. I mean, that's the purpose behind moderators, you know? That's the purpose behind moderators. Use your moderators. That's what they're there for. There's not one of my fucking mods that I would ever dream of replacing. Not one. There's not one mod that doesn't fit in to my channel and what I'm trying to do, doesn't get what I'm trying to do, and doesn't support me 100%. I can honestly say that. And I'm proud of that. I'm very, 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 very proud of that. Oh, wow. Okay, so Rob, yeah, that's right. Robbie put up, thanks, Starset. Robbie had put up just some love, man, on his channel. He put up a thing saying to check me out, and that's fucking awesome. Yeah, man, thanks a lot, Robbie. That's great. Wow. So yeah, Starset, I really hope you're enjoying and welcome. You're very, very welcome here. You're in good company. Okay, so you're saying usually you can ignore it, but not when dealing with a narcissist. Normally, I would agree with you. Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, I hear that word thrown around a lot, narcissist. And what's funny is I'm one of the first people to be like, man, stop throwing that fucking word around. I hear that word too goddamn much in the true crime community, and it's annoying as shit. But I think you're right. I think some of these creators are narcissists, and I think that if not the creators are narcissists, that some of the followers that are so devoted to these creators can be narcissists, and they wind up, you know, behaving in a narcissistic fashion. But again, it's how you deal with narcissism. Narcissism is only, I went over this last night. Well, I went over that with irrational people. I used irrational people as an example, but narcissists are they if you ignore them, they're forced to become irrational. That's what happens. So it's one more step. It's an extra step. Dealing with a narcissist rather than dealing with a generally irrational person, you're dealing with one extra step, in my opinion. So you have a narcissist and they're jabbing at you and they're picking at you and they're picking at you, and then you fucking totally fucking ignore them and don't give them the time of day, and simply let law enforcement deal with them. Not my problem. Let your mods just silence them. Not your problem. You know? And that's it. That's it. That's it. Just go on about your shit. And they private message you, don't open it. Don't read it if it's going to bother you. Narcs are the weakest, actually. Very well said, Shannon. Very well said. This is why I love my mod team. Yeah, I mean, but again, Starset, you're saying usually ignoring them is what works, but if they have an injury and they go after you, that is what is scary. Okay, well, yeah. I mean, here's let me make things real easy on everybody. Let me make things real easy on everyone. If you're looking for anybody that comes after me, the only thing that they're going to find out is that I have a past. They'll find police reports that are on record, public record. They'll find whatever. Everybody has a past, I wouldn't have gone on. I would never have created this channel and started doing what I'm doing if I wasn't ready for that kind of shit. So that's it. I'm telling you, I've dealt with the worst of the worst, man. I went to war and won with the worst of the worst. A fucking monster. A fucking monster. Bring it on. You know what I'm saying? Bring it on. But I promise you, you're not even going to be worth my time. You're not good. You are never going to be as important to me as what I'm trying to do with this channel. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that should be every creator's attitude, in my opinion. In my opinion. Whatever you're doing with your channel, if it's so important to you, then there's no way that that whoever's fucking with you is ever going to be as important to you as what you're trying to do on your channel. If you prioritize them, you empower them. I'm just not going to give you that kind of power. You don't. You're nothing. You're under my shoe. Hey, Starset. Hey, thanks for asking, man. I appreciate you. This is what I love. I love this kind of participation in my chat. You're welcome anytime here. Anytime. Yeah, I mean, it's like the shit that I'm accusing, uh, the shit that I'm accusing Mary Marlowe of. It's it's not anything that I have not gone through myself. You know. I hope that she. You know what? It's funny. I want to hear her stories. If she started a channel based on her experiences from back in the day, from when she was a radio personality, dude, I would eat that shit up. Dude, I would eat that shit up. I would love to hear crazy fucking wild stories involving rock stars that I used to that I admire. I would love to hear that kind of shit. Yeah, bullies are they suck. They feed off you, Starset, and bullies are only they're weak. It's already established. It's common knowledge. A bully is just weak. That's just feeding off any power that you give to them. You cut them off of that power, then they can't fuck with you no more. Yeah, absolutely, Amy. You're absolutely right. Narcissistic people go after strong people. It's a competition thing. It's a weird, fucked up competition thing. Yeah, you're saying they're intimidated. It's a sport to break or take them down. Absolutely, absolutely. The one thing you can count on when you take on a narcissist is you can count on whenever they get actually angry, they're only angry at themselves. You can count on that. Jay, what's happening? Yeah, you can always count on that. Any time that they express anger, they're angry at themselves. Guaranteed. Sorry guys, I'm looking over the chat a little bit because I gotta like backtrack and stuff because I get to fucking talking. And yes, I hear you. I hear you, Starset, that you don't throw the word narcissist around easily. I hear you. I didn't read that before, but I'm reading it now going back. So, yeah, consider that acknowledged. Absolutely. And I don't mean that in a patronizing sense. Um, that actually, to me, speaks volumes. Because I've heard the word narcissist thrown around by people who are very quick to victimize themselves. And I'm just like, man, come on with that bullshit. You know what I mean? So people who automatically feel attacked. It's like being challenged doesn't. If you can't tell the difference between being challenged and being attacked, then you're most likely to me someone who thrives off being in a victim's position, who thrives off being viewed as a victim. Yeah, I'm uh I'm ready for tomorrow's closing arguments, Jay. Absolutely. The Frazee case. Let me tell you, man, that live last night got me so interested in the case. I was talking earlier. I don't know how much of this you heard, but I was talking earlier about how much I love Dad with a Phone. That dude is fucking badass. Like, he got me so interested in that case. He got me excited about another true crime case, and it's been a while since that's happened. And a lot of this live was about um, why I lost interest in true crime altogether. But um, I've I got into true crime in the first place because I had a friend who was murdered. A very very close friend of mine was murdered senselessly, and it's not and covering it in a true crime case when because true crime has become like this entertainment genre. Uh, no true crime channel or podcast or anything is ever really going to cover this because it's not that interesting. There's not a lot of twists and turns. It's a very simple, open, shut case, and justice is being served currently as we speak. And um, so, you know, but it made me think like, fuck, why does this kind of shit happen to good people? and I started listening to a bunch of different true crime podcasts and stuff like that. Um, True Crime Garage is one of my favorite ones. I love Nick and the Captain. I haven't listened to them in a while, but I love the way they covered a lot of their cases, and they brought a lot of cases to my attention to where I would look deeply into it. They brought up a case one time that was about uh, Jesse Opie Ross, and he went missing in Chicago years and years and years ago, and this he just fucking disappeared, just disappeared, and nobody knows what happened, and I couldn't I there were details about the case that really bothered me, and then I looked into it on Facebook, and I looked into it and on social media, and nobody was talking about it, and then I found his dad on Facebook, and his dad and I are actually friends currently on Facebook. um and he basically, nobody's looking for his son. Nobody's looking for his son. And I couldn't help but think there's thousands of cases out there like this. Or just, there's they've given up on closure. The families have given up on closure. So that's why I get so passionate when I talk about this stuff on here, about people with true crime channels and taking their platform for granted, especially who have so many subscribers. And so, um, all I want to do is help people. You could do it 1 week at a time. Um, and I put in as much legwork as I can. I don't have a personal life, man. I go to work and I exercise. That's all I do. Um, and I'm happy with that kind of peace. But I also have this channel. That's it. So it breaks my heart when there's cases like that, and there's so many that I would love to see, but the problem is people would find these things boring. Um, I don't think they have to be boring. Um, I think we can get out of our comfort zones and move on from cases like Chris Watts that have closure. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying not to talk about it anymore. Shit, I talked about it tonight. Uh, it happens. you know, we followed everybody here followed that case so closely. So of course conversations are going to happen. I've never listened to Real Crime Profile, Red Raven. Yeah, Jay for Justice loves the captain. I love that shit. Yeah, right. I get super pumped when he calls somebody a piece of shit. Like that's his like thing, and they have the whole ban the van thing, and it's every time I see a van, I'm just like, oh man, I want to take a picture of it and send it to them and be like, hey, ban the van. I'm a True Crime Garage fan. I love that shit. Um, yeah, vanished and already gone. Yeah, Jay. Yeah. Um, so yeah, Jay, I'm telling you, I'm really, really excited. I really hope that you're still down to do a follow up on your channel on the on Mandy's case. I think we can get more signatures for that petition, um, and we'll have fun doing it. Yeah, and that's a big that see that's the thing, Starset. That's why I'm really glad you said that. I'm really glad you said that. Because what I really want to do, my dream, honestly, I'm such an idealist and I'm such a dreamer and such a douchebag that like I really just wish that people in this community who who have, you know, who have psych training and who have experience, and you know, and people who take a true interest in a serious problem that's never going to be curable. There's always going to be crime, and there's always going to be murder. There's always going to be these things that happen, these horrible things that happen. But when the mainstream media loses interest and doesn't cover, then I think this is the alternative. This platform, this, having a platform like YouTube, a network like YouTube, is an incredible tool to be able to pull together as a community and help find justice for some of these families who don't have any justice or closure. And I would love to see that happen. Jay, dude, we could do it fucking tomorrow. I don't care. Whenever. But just, yeah, I know that you're like busy moving and everything, and I get all that. So I'm gonna leave it to you to let me know when you're ready to go live again, and then we can plan something, and we'll go live together and do that, and I'll make sure to get back in touch with Tay, and we'll see if we can get her and possibly her Mandy's brother on. So, because Tay mentioned to me that Mandy's brother was interested in being interviewed, and I want to be able to give people a chance to get to know what kind of a person she was from her loved ones. Um, so I'm really yeah, I'm very just the simple the simple feeling that I got from how that live went was so inspiring and so uplifting that I really, really, really want to. I just want to do that as much as I can. So I'm really yeah, I'm excited about that, and I felt like we really made a difference, and to have her text me and tell me that it made such a difference. um you know these people, even these creators that think I'm trolling them and think that I'm they think I'm just you know trying to gain subs by hooking up with you and everything. Nah, none of that shit is the case. I have a certain amount of listeners that I've had for a long time, and I've been doing a certain thing with this channel, and it's been a very intimate thing between me and those people, and I love that, and I cherish it, um and then thanks to you, Jay, I managed to get a few more subs because you allowed me to speak on your channel about how I felt about this whole thing, and you were super receptive about it, and you were so awesome about it, and then I did the thing, with Mandy, and I got that feeling of what kind of a difference we can make as a community. So I want to take advantage of that. Absolutely. I absolutely want to take advantage of that, and that is 150% my motive behind all of this. Um, and and I love just fucking hanging out with you guys. I absolutely love that. So, to me, this is just a I don't even know how to describe it. You know, I don't even really know how to describe it. I was able to come on here, and I got to interview my friend Sean, uh, and talk about everything with what happened with his family, and what I was really hoping for. out of that was to make people aware of the adults who have been adopted, their rights, and give Sean that platform to be able to talk about that. And I did, and it broke my heart that nobody found that interesting, even though most of my subscribers are true crime enthusiasts. Nobody seemed to find that very interesting, and then I was just like, what the hell, you know? I thought this was a true crime community. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, I guess I kind of just used that situation with him, and I kind of just created a situation to be able to give him that platform to talk about uh, the 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 adults' rights, who have been adopted, to know where they come from, and I'm passionate about that. So I want to see that happen. I want to see that difference being made, and so if I do get a ton of subscribers, then I can guarantee you, I can promise you that I'm going to use this platform the same way that I'm using it right now. You know, I'm going to try to bring people together, and I'm going to try to talk about things that really really matter, that I think really really matter, and I think that really matter to all of us. And I want to really try to make a difference. Um, so am I trying to get more subscribers? Sure, absolutely. But I don't give a shit about the monetization right now. I have a job, you know. My poverty allows me to have the diet that I need in order to reach the physical goals that I'm trying to reach. So I look at everything as a plus. I every negative thing that's in my life is turns out to really not be negative. The things that I used to consider negative are really not that negative, and it's pretty fucking amazing. Oh yeah, thanks, Amy. Yeah, and yo, Irish fucking mod the shit out of that interview. She was fucking amazing. Um, yeah, I love my mod team. I absolutely adore my mod team. Um, Thanks, Starset. I appreciate that. And that's all I want to do, honestly. And yes, and you're gonna catch me, and I'm gonna talk about the shit in this community that bothers me. I'm gonna do that, but it is not coming from a place to want to shit talk other creators. That's not the source of it all. I will do that. Don't get me wrong. I fucking will. I will fucking trash anybody who I fucking feel like I need to trash. But what's driving me is the idea of using this platform for as much of it can be, as much of it that it can be used for. And I know that there's a lot of people that feel that way about it. So I just want to bring everybody together to do that if I can. Ivy, she made a pun. Amy made a pun. Will does like real big fish, but Will is not a sellout. Will just may Will just may very well buy in, but Will never sell out. So, all right, guys. Uh, Tonight was fantastic with all of you. I got to see everybody in my chat for the most part that I really wanted to see and talk to, and you guys never disappoint. I fucking love my chat. It's always the same people, and they're always fucking awesome. And to see new people is even better, and getting the chance to connect with new people is even fucking better. Hey, Mystic, I didn't see you there. I'm sorry. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming. Um, And Starset, hey, you were so nice in my chat. Thank you so much, and you're welcome here anytime. And I loved your questions, and I'm really happy that you asked them. So yeah, man. And when you guys ask questions, that what that does is that does something magical. It creates content. When I when I draw a blank and I don't know what the fuck to say up here, so when you guys ask questions, it creates content, and so it gives me more to talk about. So all questions are welcome. All questions are welcome. Anybody is welcome. Trolls, welcome. Whatever. Come in. Let's get down to it. So, all right, guys. Kim Clark, I'm sorry you missed it. I'm sorry you missed it. You know what? Hey, Kim Clark, you know what? Stay on. I'll stay on for 2 more minutes just for you. I'll do that. Tell me about you, Kim Clark, because you're new here too. No. I'm staying on. I'm staying on for at least 2 more minutes. Maybe Kim Clark can inspire me to stay on forever. I'm putting too much pressure on her. All right. Yes, Kathy agreed, but I want to do this with other true crime channels. Like you know what you know what I'm saying? Like I want to make a fucking, I want to do just random super groups of fucking true crime channels, man. And I want everybody to come together with the same fucking motive here, which is get justice for people. That's all I want to do. All right, guys. It's like I'm loving you guys in this chat, man. All right. I'll see you guys later on this week, okay? Hey, Jay, make sure to get in touch with me, all right? Let's do this Mandy thing. Let's get justice for Mandy. All right. Love you guys. Good night.